Hello again, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ebel and welcome to this week's whole food plant-based on a budget meal prep. This week I'm actually only making 2 recipes for meal prep and then I'm focused on filling up my freezer. I need a few things in there to just have when I'm hungry and I don't feel like cooking. And my all-time favorite thing to have in the freezer is my quinoa taco mix. I think my quinoa taco mix freezes really well, and I feel like when I unthaw it, it basically tastes just as good as when you make it fresh. And I'm gonna be traveling a little bit this weekend, and I think that this is a great thing to have on the road because it's really easy to eat by itself or with some chips or make like a little wrap. Seriously, one of my all-time favorite recipes, and I can't remember the last time I made it. It has definitely been a while. I did buy some extra quinoa in my grocery haul this week, but first I'm gonna use up this older stuff that I already have in a jar, and I'm gonna make a big batch of that so I can eat some now and have some in the freezer. But before I get to my quinoa mix, I need some black beans for that recipe. So I have a lot of dried black beans here that I wanna cook. I want to make a lot of extra ones as well to have in the freezer. I got a whole nother pound of black beans at Cutco this week. So first I'll cook up the older ones that I have here in this jar. But like I said, I want to do a really big batch so that these will maybe get me through the winter. And same situation with the chickpeas. I bought over a pound of them at Cutco this week, but first I want to use up all the older ones that I already have. And again, I want to make a really big batch, separate them into 2-cup portions, and have them in the freezer for when I need chickpeas this winter. Because it really stinks having to cook them from dry every single time that you want to use them. When they're just ready to go in the freezer like this, it's so much easier. And I think they taste so much better than canned beans. So after I get all my chickpeas cooked and portioned out, I'm also going to make a batch of chickpea of the sea sandwich filling so that I have that to eat this weekend as well. I'm guessing this meal prep is going to take up most of my afternoon because cooking in the beans in the Instant Pot does take a little time, way quicker than soaking them and doing them on the stove. That's for sure. So let's get started with the black beans. I don't remember exactly how much these jars hold. I think I'm gonna call that about 3 cups. I think I wanna do a little bit more. I think I wanna do at least 4 cups of dried beans. Actually, I'm just going to fill this jar with my new beans and whatever is left over. That's what I'll cook. Got my honeycomb jar refilled with black beans, and I'm guessing that's probably about a cup. Perfect. So about 4 cups of dried black beans. And I have learned it's important to rinse off your dry beans because the one time when I didn't, I ended up with some crunchy refried beans because there was some dirt or some sand, I don't know. It wasn't very appetizing. Definitely recommend giving the beans a quick rinse. And I don't usually measure the water. I usually do 1 inch above the beans. So more than that. Maybe a tiny bit more. All right, that looks good. Hello again, it is time to check on our beans and get them swapped out. So the black beans pressure cooked in the Instant Pot, it only takes 20 minutes of pressure cooking to get those beans cooked. I used to literally spend 2 days doing them on the stovetop between soaking them and simmering them, and I just love my Instant Pot. Oh yay! I really like the smell of black beans. Anybody else? I'm going to run my black beans under some cold water and then I'm going to set them aside in a bowl so they can cool down before I package them up for the freezer and I can get my chickpeas going in the Instant Pot. Does anyone else love the smell of cooked black beans? I think they smell so good. This makes me want to do a batch of my like smoky black beans that I like to make with liquid smoke and smoked paprika and some tomatoes. Yum. Might need to set some of these aside to make a little batch of that. Or I will just have these in my freezer and I can make them anytime I want. So I'm gonna set these aside to cool, and let's get the chickpeas going in the Instant Pot. Just like I did with the black beans, I want to use all my older beans first, and then I'm gonna refill my jar with my newer beans. Again, about 3 cups. So once I refilled the jar, I still had about a cup or so of chickpeas from Winco. Add those. From my perspective, I'm thinking this looks like less than 4 cups for the chickpeas. So let's give those a quick rinse before we cook them as well. All right, gave those a rinse. And again, I just do like an inch over the beans. Tiny bit more. Hello again, another 20 minutes or so, another batch of beans done. So let's check out the chickpeas. Cooked chickpeas smell good too, but not as good as the black beans. Let's give these a rinse and drain. And now time to cook my quinoa, and shockingly, I have never cooked quinoa in my Instant Pot. I just always do it on the stove top, because typically when I make my quinoa taco mix, I'm mixing together the corn and the black beans and the peppers and the onions in a pan, cooking the quinoa in a pan, and I just throw them all together. Which reminds me, I still need to chop peppers and onions. I decided I'm just gonna cook this entire jar of quinoa, whatever it ends up being. Looks like just about 2 cups, maybe a little bit under. My understanding from the internet is the quinoa ratio is 1 to 1.5 with the water. Again, I have not cooked quinoa in my Instant Pot. This is a little bit of a test. So 2 cups of quinoa, I'm gonna do about 3 cups of water. So there's about 3 cups of water. All right, while the quinoa is cooking, I need to get peppers and onions chopped, get some tomatoes and green chilies and corn ready to go for the quinoa taco mix, and the other flavorings I need for the chickpea of the sea too. So, meal prep is almost ready to get all put together. All right, it's only a couple minutes later. I got a couple dishes done. I didn't even get to any of my chopping. I heard the Instant Pot beep that it was warm enough and the quinoa was gonna start cooking, and then it only took 1 minute. I could not believe it. So let's take a look at this. Dude, why have I not been cooking my quinoa in the Instant Pot? Gorgeous. And all of the liquid is absorbed. Oh my gosh, this is like perfect. Let's give it a stir. Wow. Wow, I cannot believe I am just discovering this. Honestly, I didn't think quinoa would be better in the Instant Pot than how it was on the stove, but 10 out of 10. And I realized I didn't put my new quinoa in my jar. Perfect. All right, so that means I just need to get my vegetables chopped, get myself a little tidied up and organized, and I will be ready to finish up this meal prep. All right, ready to complete this meal prep. Here is my 2 peppers and a little bit of onion I have diced up for the quinoa taco mix. Then I'll add this bag of corn along with some tomatoes and green chilies and some of these extra little chipotle peppers that I love. That's all gonna get started in my pan for the quinoa taco mix while I portion out my black beans. Corn, peppers, tomatoes. Need just a couple more minutes. I just turned the heat up a little bit. And I have 2 cups of black beans set aside for when the peppers and corn are ready for those. So now let's portion out some chickpeas. All right, time for black beans over here. All right, I turned this off and now I'm going to season it up and then mix it in with the quinoa. Cayenne, chipotle, garlic powder, and a bunch of cumin. My quinoa taco mix recipe is forever changed because cooking the quinoa in the Instant Pot and then just mixing it all together up in here, it was so easy. So I need to portion this out too, but first I need to let it cool down. And since I only ended up with just over a cup of chickpeas, I think instead of mixing up a hummus and then the chopped chickpeas, I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of make this into a mashed chickpea salad, not get any blenders involved. Let's see how this goes. So we're gonna try just dumping it in a bowl and mashing it all together. The chickpeas, some celery, some capers, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and some relish. Well, that was a big old waste of time. Next time I will definitely just use the blender. I swear I have smushed chickpeas before and it was easier, maybe because they were canned and not freshly cooked. I probably also should have left out the celery and just mashed it. And anyway, I ended up getting out my little tofu chopper and I had a good old time chopping it up. So I do have a little bit of a sandwich mix. Again, with that little bit of a hummus binder. It's much of a better sandwich filling. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I won't freeze all the chickpeas that I have. Maybe I'll take some of those out and mix up a little hummus to add to this before I eat it. Decisions, decisions. So it was about 1 pound of dry beans each. I could have done a more precise measurement, I guess. But at 98 cents a pound for those dry black beans, I ended up getting 12 cups of black beans. That's like 6 cans of black beans. It's just so budget friendly. And now I'm gonna have all of these in my freezer ready to go this winter. And I know I've said it like 10 times. I just think they taste so much better. The chickpeas were about 1 pound too, and I got like 9.5 cups. Again, I wasn't measuring super precisely, but what were the chickpeas a pound? $1.17 a pound. So that's like 5 cans of chickpeas for $1.17. I'm gonna print some labels on my label maker so I can have dates on everything that goes in my freezer. I've also been getting in the habit of putting a date on anything whenever I open it up in the fridge. Things like condiments that I always forget, like how long has this been around? Like my capers, I wrote 10-5 on there. I must have made some chickpea of the sea back then, but now I'll know when I see these in my fridge down the road, like when I open them up. So we'll see how much quinoa taco mix I get as well. And then I'll take a picture of my freezer once it's all in there and organized and stocked up for the winter. Yay. So thanks for stopping by my channel today and joining me for this meal prep. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe and be well. Whole food, plant-based, on a budget. Like that, but less dorky. I think my quinoa, start all that over. I think I want to do that again. A batch of chickpea bite cooking in the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot is just a miracle. One more time. Oh, I forgot to rinse them. Oh my gosh, you doofus. You doofus. Doofus. Ouch. Ah. That was hot. Okay. So I think I just decided to cook this in Speak. Use your words. Oh, there's water in here. Oh. One day we shall get our life together. Maybe. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say that looks like, I already have my celery ready for my chickpea of the sea, so I'll just leave it at that. Actually, peppers and onions chopped, and what else do I need to do? Oh, peppers and onions chopped. Get some tomato to use this winter, so I didn't like that. I did not like the way I spoke that. This is it. That was it. Is that a piece of hair? What a nutso piece of hair. Dude, that's a piece of hair. Oh my gosh. Now it looks even crazier. I shall be back shortly to finish up this meal prep. That was so stupid. And then it will be time to finish up this meal prep. Quit texting me while I'm talking. Chipotle extra stuff I like to I'm gonna do this. I have a bag, bleh, a bag of corn that's been defrosting from the freezer. Why am I trying to? Dude. Popular today. That's what I should have. Oh, we'll have to use the other one. Okay. Oh, I crack myself up. Chipotle, cayenne, focus. Oop. And so a pound of dry This meal prep has been going on too long, I know, Ted. It's almost time, you guys. You can stop your chirping. And again, just gonna have, I have gotten soup. I feel like this meal prep was really The hell is that? I'm saying goodbye right now, Penny. Do you want to say goodbye with me? That sounded like a no. No. So thanks for stopping by my channel and joining me for meal prep today. Why do I keep pointing? So thanks for stopping by my channel today. Oh. Play with your mouse some more. That was cute. You're picture perfect. Look at you. We'll go back to your pose. Look at you. You're like a little model. Who wants to give Ted a modeling job? He's such a good boy. See, he's shy. Evidence of how spoiled you guys are. Look at all those toys everywhere. Okay, say goodbye. Say bye. Want to give me a head bump? Give me a head bump. That's my boy. You're so cute. Yeah. Yeah. We love head bumps, huh? Don't put your butt in the camera, Ted. Say bye, beautiful.